Hi and welcome back to the channel. We have a very special video for you today as we have a lot of inside information about the new season of Apex Legends. We were lucky enough to attend the virtual press briefing and get hands-on time playing the new season, the new map and the new legend. Before we get into that, I just wanted to quickly talk about how the YouTube channel is going to look going forward. With the launch of our new print magazine, which is available to order on our website now, we're looking at more ways to carry on this trajectory. We feel like YouTube is going to become our outlet for sharing content around games we enjoy. YouTube currently is the home of our Pathfinders podcast, where we sit down with creatives all around the world to discuss various topics around what they do. That isn't going to change, but now we're also going to be using YouTube to publish smaller and more in-depth long-form content around video games. So if you are not yet subscribed, then please do so. We're new to YouTube and just getting started, but we're excited to share things to come. So, in today's video, I'll be discussing what we were able to see yesterday on Thursday the 29th of October. I was lucky enough to be invited to attend Respawn's virtual press briefing for the new season, listen to a Q&A with the developers, and get hands-on time playing the new season for a few hours too with some of the biggest content creators on YouTube, Twitch, and even from the pro scene too. There is a lot to cover in this video, but I'm unable to show any gameplay until Monday evening. I imagine by that point, a lot of other content creators would have uploaded their footage, so if this video does well before then I might have some more footage to show you on Monday. There were some crazy things that happened, including a lobby where I was put into a squad of 12 players. I want to try and put this all into a single video, but break it down into categories. So this is how it's going to go for today's video. First we'll look at the new legend, Horizon, then looking at the new map on Olympus, and then the third segment is going to look at areas outside the first two, things that we wasn't shown and things that we were shown. So to get things started, let's talk about all things Horizon. With the new season comes a new legend. Season 7 brings us Horizon, a legend with a custom spacesuit that allows her to control her movements in the air and better fall from great heights without being punished. Horizon is a very mobile character. Her passive is called Spacewalker, which gives her increased air control and reduces the fall impact. When you fall from a great height using another legend, the camera moves forward to create the impact of a hard landing. With Horizon, that doesn't happen, and when she falls, there isn't a stun mechanic that's implemented either when landing too, so she's able to move right away. Her tactical ability is the gravity lift, which works exactly how the gravity lifts worked in the teasers across both maps leading up to the new season. It's a flow of energy that allows players to move slowly upwards, and then it boosts you outwards when exiting the flow. This is used via a throwable disc by Horizon instead of it being placed down. I wasn't able to test out how far you could throw the disc or really what speed it moved at. It appeared to move a lot quicker than Loba's bracelet though. Her ult is called Black Hole, and again this is a projectile. During the live stream, one of the developers said that this works similar to the gravity star from Titanfall 2. The black hole sucks enemies into the core of it and holds them there for a period of time. When looking at the strength of this legend and if this legend will enter the meta, it's very hard to say at this point. Everyone who got a chance to play this wanted to play Horizon. And with everyone wanting to play Horizon, I was unlucky where I only got to play as her once during the 6-hour test demo. It'll be interesting to see what buffs and nerfs are being applied to other legends though, but I don't think Horizon will be one of those top level competitive legends. Again, it's very hard to say, and she could play really well on some of the older maps. After a week or two, I think players will have a good idea if this was a top level legend or not. Horizon seemed like a very good and enjoyable character. By far is she not the strongest, but she's also not the weakest. When playing this test demo, I also got access to look at Horizon's new legendary skins, her finishers, and the emotes as well. I'm really impressed with what the team did in designing some of these skins. Again, Horizon, like legends in the past, arrives with 4 new legendary skins. There's 2 new designs and a recolor of each type. My favourite of the 4 skins is called Dark Matter, which reminded me of a villain from Thor Ragnarok called Hela, although this skin is mainly white with grey and red accent colours, as opposed to being all black. So let's talk about Olympus. So the new season introduces the third map to Apex Legends, Olympus. Olympus is a floating city where the wealthiest people used to live. It is home to slick highways, shopping centres, docks and lavish estates. The Apex Legends team have been working on Olympus since spring 2019. Although I don't have numbers to compare this map to Kings Canyon and World's Edge, the developers confirmed that it is larger than Kings Canyon but smaller than World's Edge. We'll get into vehicles in a minute, but when talking about this map, it's important to point out that this map was designed with vehicles in mind from day one. They didn't want this experience to be reliant on vehicles for rotations though. The map is meant to be big enough for vehicles to be useful, but not necessary for rotation. This is a floating map, and there are loads of areas players can fall to their death around the map, and not just around the edges from what we used to see from the previous two. The developers talked about how they designed this in a way to make it difficult for players to accidentally fall off the edge of the map though. There are big areas of interest that offer high tier loot drops. One I was landing at quite a bit was called the Rift. The Rift is a big ball of purple energy that you will be able to see clearly when you first enter the dropship. From the sky it almost looks like you can't enter, but once you fly through the ball of energy, there are loads of buildings in this dome of energy that you can explore, loot up, and even get a vehicle to. The big orb of energy is known as phase energy, and if you get too close to it you'll be sucked up. Once you're sucked up into the phase energy, it will shoot you to a new location through a portal. These portals are known as phase runners, and there are 3 of them on Olympus. These look almost like the Wraith portals from Kings Canyon, but they act very differently. First off, you are able to take stored damage whilst travelling through them. Second off is that when you exit the portal, you do not exit like you do on Kings Canyon where you are almost flying away. The portal acts as an entry and exit, so once you enter one side of the portal, you exit the other end, and again you can go back through the way you came and be on your feet at the other end. This is used as a great new way to rotate around the map. They've definitely been thinking about rotations through chokes a lot more with this map, with the 2 new ways to move from location to location with this and the new vehicle, the Trident. Again, I'll get into the vehicles in a bit. I just wanted to point out another area of interest that I enjoyed landing at quite a bit. Another area of interest is Bonsai Plaza. This is a high tier loot zone with loads of verticality to it. There is a restaurant and a lot of cherry blossoms in this area too. At the top of the plaza is a lounge, which is accessible from 2 elevator shafts either side, or you can land there from the dropship at the start of the game. This location is actually the place that featured during the Season 4 trailer where Revenant killed Loba's parents. The entire map features a lot of rounded architecture. It is very bright, colourful, and I really do enjoy the lighting that they've used on this map compared to the previous 2. It's very different from the previous 2 maps, and overall I'm very excited to get my hands to play this more. Olympus also introduces the Trident vehicle. This vehicle can fit up to 3 players on it, with 1 taking up the driver role, with the other 2 being passengers. You can't have multiple teams on a vehicle though, so it isn't going to be very Halo-esque. These vehicles can't also be destroyed unless driven off the map too. The developers spoke about how vehicles were limited to mainly the outskirts of the map, and because there's going to be a limited amount on each map, they didn't want the ability for them to be destroyed. When I heard about vehicles being introduced this season, I wasn't sure if they was going to have highways on, which they could only drive on and not be taken off course. However, after playing it, you can drive the vehicles almost anywhere on the map. The vehicle is meant to be a rotation tool, and again it adds another element to the game. One of the worries I had when I heard that they were adding vehicles to the game, after playing other battle royales such as Fortnite and Call of Duty, is that if this vehicle was going to be able to run people over and deal damage. It's a frustrating element to when they add vehicles into other battle royales in my opinion, and I was glad that the developers confirmed that these vehicles do not damage players, so you cannot take damage from being run over from the Trident. In terms of damage, any damage the vehicle takes will be distributed amongst all people riding on the vehicle. I believe this works in a way where if, say, the vehicle takes 30 damage, then each player will get 10 damage taken off their health. If, however, your aim is perfect and are able to shoot the passenger directly, then it's them who will take the damage. I wasn't in a situation where I was on the vehicle whilst taking damage, so I can't confirm if this damage is distributed in the way where 30 damage is distributed 10, 10, 10, or it's a case where that's reduced slightly. The driver is also able to boost the Trident, and this will recharge over time to traverse these ramps across the map. Again, there is only a set number of vehicles per match, but it wasn't confirmed the exact number placed in each game. The Trident is exclusive to Olympus, so the Trident won't be entering Kings Canyon or World's Edge. The dev team said that they wanted the Trident to be fun, and so Legends can use their abilities on them. Rampart can put her turret on the back and be shooting enemies whilst it's being driven around. Gibraltar can put his shield on the vehicle as it's driving around, and Caustic can even attach traps to it too. The final thing I wanted to mention about Olympus is that there will be a new LTM launching with the new season called Olympus Preview. I really like the sound of this LTM that's dropping, and it gives people the ability to launch in and explore the new map without having to worry about enemies killing you. This LTM is just for the squad you queue up with. There'll be 3 rings a game, and the rings will move quicker over time. Once a ring closes, you'll again be able to drop from the ship to land at a different zone. This is going to be a perfect mode and tool to really explore all areas of the map, learn new strategies, and even more tactics for winning ranked games. Outside of the main changes with the new map Olympus and the Legend Horizon, there is still a lot of new features added with Season 7. First of all, in regards to next-gen consoles, the devs confirmed that Apex will be available on day one on both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, but only as a backwards compatible game. Apex is going to perform better given the better hardware in both the new consoles in the next gen, but a next gen patch is something that they said that they would talk about and revisit again in the future. Apart from one season, we have saw the introduction of a new weapon too. In Season 7 there is no new weapon being added to Apex Legends. Last year the developers did talk about their reluctancy to add in a new weapon as they thought the current loot pool was in a great place. So in the future, maybe we could perhaps see some weapons being vaulted in order to add new things to the looting pool. This is of course if they still have their same stance on that point. We wasn't told anything about the new gold gun rotations, and I personally didn't get a chance to find any on the floor. We also wasn't told anything about legend or weapon meta changes that will be taking place in this season. It was confirmed that the patch notes for this upcoming season will be released on Monday though. One of the big things to note is that the R99 is being taken out the care package in Season 7 and replaced with the Prowler. Again, I have no idea what this means in regards to damage or performance changes to the Prowler, or if the R99 is going back to how it was in Season 5. The Season 7 Battle Pass again features 5 new legendary skins. There is a new Wraith legendary skin called High Class, which will be unlocked at level 25. It looks very slick with a combed over hairstyle, and Wraith has these white eyes. At level 50 will be the Fast Fashion Octane skin, which looks very similar to the reactive R99 skin that will be the weapon at level 100 and 110. These skins look very futuristic and cyberpunk-esque, and when looking at the battle pass, the energy almost pulsates and flows through the R9 skin with the more kills you get. I really like the look of this R99 skin, and the iron sights look great for it too. We did not get early access to viewing the gameplay trailer, but we did see the character Horizon trailer which showed gameplay around the new characters. We also got a chance to see some B-roll footage, which is likely what would have made up the gameplay trailer when it launched moments ago. The final legendary skin, which is granted at the start of the battle pass, is a Prowler skin, which again looks really good. To be honest, I'm really impressed with the legendary skins that they've added this season. I think the artwork team have done a great job here. Whilst we're on the topic of the Battle Pass, there is also going to be a slight rework to how the Battle Pass works. Instead of an XP system now which moves you from tier to tier, it's now being replaced with a star system. Challenges of all types will now grant you stars instead of XP. Challenges can grant 1, 2 or 3 stars for daily challenges, and can grant 5 stars from weekly challenges and the typical Battle Pass skip tier as well. You'll need a total of 10 stars to go up a Battle Pass tier. There is also a rework and a change in UI with how the challenges are going to look in-game and on the main menu too. Chad Grenier spoke about how in-game calling up the challenge menu would now not only display your daily challenges, but also challenges you are close to completing. It'll be interesting to see if daily challenges are removed as you complete them and again replaced with more challenges you're close to completing. I have to say, when Apex do change the UI, they always seem to make it look a lot better and hard to go back to the previous build. Again, I'm a big fan of this new UI for the challenges. Another big area Apex have announced is that Clubs is going to be coming to Season 7. Clubs is going to act as a feature to partner up with other players, friends, and build communities to get into games with squads. The developers stated that this was born from seeing a post on social media where someone who didn't have anyone to play with was getting very frustrated at solo queuing into trio lobbies. So how do clubs work? It was confirmed that you can only be a member of one club, and each club can have 30 spaces inside of it. Again, I'm not too sure how this is going to work, because to me the idea that you can only be part of one club feels like it could be altered down the line, because it seems very small to me. To me, perhaps a better way of building this would have been having multiple clubs for different uses. As a player of Apex, I would want a ranked club, a LTM club, and maybe more of a casual pubs club as well. This clubs feature is cross-play enabled, so you can have people from PC, PlayStation and Xbox in your club. The person who creates a club will have full control over it as well. They'll be able to choose the name, design the badges, and grant admin access to certain members so they can manage the club, remove players from the club, and add others in. You'll be able to search for clubs and make the club private too. All of this is going to be under a new tab on the main menu. Finally, there was no news on ranked play. Although we have already been previously told about this on a blog post, I was curious to find out if there was going to be any more news about how this was going to play going forward. We've already had confirmed that the first rank split will take place on Olympus and the second half will be on World's Edge. I know a lot of pro players have expressed their frustration with playing on Kings Canyon unranked, and I don't know whether this has played into it too much. The devs did confirm by the blog post though that Kings Canyon will return at a later date. Something I was curious to find out but didn't get a chance to have this question answered is if there's going to be any new changes to the previous maps as well. From the first Season 7 trailer we saw the rocket launching from World's Edge, and that is actually now a location on Olympus. It's a big point of interest and that acts as a very defensive location. The question is though, what will fill that space where the rocket used to be on World's Edge? Is the rocket just going to be absent? Is it going to be destroyed? Or is it going to go back and revert to a previous build of World's Edge? Again, I'm not too sure how it's going to feed into the overall map rotations as well. Now we have 3 maps. Are they going to be in 3 hour-and-a-half installments? Is this going to take place further down the line? And are we only going to be able to play Olympus for the first 2 weeks as we have done in previous seasons? Again, these are things that we're perhaps going to find out more about over the coming days, with interviews, gameplay, and also with the patch notes coming out on Monday. So this was everything I was able to learn from the press briefing, the question and answers, and having some hands-on time to play the game. Obviously there will be a lot more to come out, and I'm really excited to get more chance to play this game. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'm very interested to see if you guys will be interested to see footage of a 12-man squad gameplay footage that took place during this event. I'm pretty sure it was a bug where 12 people weren't able to pick a character. I think one of the devs did say that this was something to do with the playlist refreshing, but it really got me thinking, could we see a larger squad game mode added as an LTM further down the line? I have to say as well that we was the only 12-man squad in this game. We was coming up against other 3-man squads and it was hilarious. So I'll try to get that video out for you on Monday. Thank you for watching, and I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on the new season and what you're looking forward to most.